Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your ITFC fan match reaction. It's finished Stoke City 0, Ipswich Town 0. A frustrating start to 2024, and as always, want to hear from you, lovely people today. Get involved via the live chat. There's a link that's just been dropped as well. Click it if you want to come on the platform to have your say in your own words on today's action. I'll try and run through as many comments as I can through the live chat, so do use it. If you're watching on catch up, what is it we say? FDA, comment for the algorithm, like, subscribe, and all of that wonderful stuff. Rob Smith, 2 points dropped in the end. Nula Music, not good enough. Andy, yet more points thrown away against trash, says Andy. Is that a little bit harsh? Stoke did their job as far as you're concerned. You know, man down, dug in. We couldn't break them down. Is that on us? Trash, is that a little bit harsh? Let me know your thoughts. Mike Woods, and away pot on the road. Missed chance again. Stoke got what they wished for, except the red card. And Phil says, most bizarre red card you'll ever see this season. Stoke there for the taking, and Town come up short, not good enough. As it was live from the Bet365, let's start with obviously our match bingo. We are partnered with Match Bingo. You can win cash prizes while supporting the great work of the East Anglian Air Ambulance. Are you a sports enthusiast who loves football and cricket and want to support life-saving work while having fun and winning cash prizes? Over 18s, be gamble aware. How you play is on the screen. Bingo cards are £2, and by playing Match Bingo, you not only indulge in your passion for sport, but also contribute to the crucial work of the East Anglian Air Ambulance. Hopefully, as I say, it's over 18s, be gamble aware, but hopefully you'll have a lot more fun than Town did today at the Bet365 Stadium, because it wasn't the greatest. We weren't at our sharpest. It finished 0-0. Matt Phillips, I'll bring you in first and foremost.
All right.
A frustrating day at the office.
Yeah, it was really frustrating. I do agree with everyone. I do feel like that was 2 points dropped, especially when you're playing against 10 men. Them bloody red seats were noisy, weren't they, in the stadium? Who knew red seats could make such a bloody racket?
Came dressed as seats, didn't they, the Stoke fans? Bless them.
Yeah, it is 2 dropped. It is 2 dropped. That was a red card all day, by the way. It was a second yellow. He signalled on the floor. You could see him hold his hand up when he Chaplin booked.
You nailed it early doors. You messaged me straight away saying that's what it was for.
I saw it straight away. Knew he was going to get a red. So the red seats can boo all they want, but, you know. Yeah, but back to the Ipswich. Again, I'm looking at XG. We spoke about it yesterday, Martin. We've been getting about 2 point something every game. And again, look, we've not even got to 0.6 today. I probably would have taken a draw after the display against QPR, in all honesty. You go to Stoke, Schumacher in there, knows how to play against us. And let's face it, you know, they contained us. They weren't really trying to win the game at all, were they? Just contained us. And
not after the red card, certainly.
Had few half chances themselves in the first half. I mean, like you said, it took a while to get going. Comment of the day was Martin texts me and goes, the referee shit. And then suddenly he gets subbed. It was a gift from the gods.
It was like having a late Christmas present. No, we weren't at our best, and you know, Stoke did their part. You know, and red cards in games, you see it so often up and down football. Red cards, people think, 10 men. You know, your names are going. Teams practice this so many times, going down by one man, digging in. It's always difficult to break a team down, and we had a lot of ball, but we never really threatened.
No, exactly. And you're quite right. They were trying to contain us with 11 men. So they just went back to that job with the 10, and they had the 5 at the back. But let's face it, Amari and Wes's crossing wasn't that good today, I don't think. We just didn't seem to, like you said, we could still be here till next Christmas. December.
Yeah, it's what it felt like. It's what it felt like, because we could be playing till next Christmas. It just didn't have that. You know, I know Glenn on the commentary team was, you know, we need one gilt edge chance, and we just won't seem to be able to fashion it.
We just could not create it. We were reduced to half chances. For me, it just seemed to panic a little bit after we went down to 10. I don't know what everyone else thought. It felt like the ball suddenly became a hot potato. We've got to score within the next 5 minutes or something. Do you know what I mean?
The urgency ramped up, which was what Ian Westlake said, wasn't it, on the commentary team? He was saying no need to go long to Hutchinson when he was offside, because you can just play through the lines.
We could have done that, exactly. We could have done that. But when we did get into the channels, I mean, Amari and Wes's crossing, I just don't think was very good. And, you know, Baldhead had to play that kind of central role until Ladapo came in there. Pen on with Ladapo maybe at the end. I mean, he's got a fistful of shirt, hasn't he, the fella? For
me, it's a clear pen. I don't know how it's not given. I really don't.
I'd be interested to know why that wasn't given. You know, look, we arguably got away with one against Leicester, the Burgess on Dewsbury Hall shoulder barge. You know, that's the flip of a coin. But this one seemed quite stonewall to me. But it wasn't given, and we'll just have to suck it up. But listen, look, it's been a bit of a bad day at the office. We've probably dropped 2 points, and Southampton will be looking and thinking they've dropped 2 points today as well because they've only got a 1-1 draw at Norwich. So as we were, and we'll still be second for the next couple of weeks now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, Morsey got his yellow card for I thought was a really tame
odd
card.
yellow. I mean, the geezer's only been on the pitch, and he is the referee for seconds, and books him for not even just for a contact on his arm. And then your bugbear was the fella on the far side kicks the ball away. Nothing.
Yeah, their left back kicks the ball away. Absolutely nothing. I've spoken to. I mean, and then later on in the game, obviously the red card through the new rule. It's the consistency that we always talk about as fans that just doesn't appear to be there.
It wasn't any consistency. Look, he's done very well to see that yellow. Very good on Thompson to book him and then to give him the red. I'm pretty certain when you see the Town TV action replay, he goes up to him and said, "Did you just signal for a yellow?" Because his body language is, "I've got no choice. You're gone."
Yeah, it was very much so.
It's what it looked like to me, but it reminded me of the Bristol Rovers game, my famous Bristol Rovers game back in almost a year ago now. We'll have a celebration show for that one, my meltdown. It reminded me of that. We've never been very good at when teams really sit back and regardless of who the players are, with that passing game, you do really struggle. And it was like that last 20 minutes was like that Bristol Rovers game for 90 minutes that time. That's what it reminded me of. We just don't break them down. Hence probably why they brought on Taylor to see if they could fashion a long shot, but
potentially so. Max Pitchford says losing Davis and Hurst has clearly massively impacted us. Our entire system only works for the first choice 11, not the squad in general. Davis arguably is the bigger miss. Obviously, the assists speak for themselves. How we play speaks for itself. Hurst is also a big miss. Don't get me wrong on that, ladies and gentlemen. But Davis, what's this? I want to know as a fan, what's the situation? Like, is it a short term? Is it precautionary? Now it's 2 games. Is it going to rumble into 3, 4? Like where? So ask a question, Matt.
Yeah, we touched upon this the other day, didn't we? It seems to be a very tight ship when it comes to news on players coming back into the squad. I think some of the lads on the Discord today said Davis was at the game walking fine and even said he was feeling okay.
That's good. That
was good news. So maybe he will play, maybe he'll play against Wimbledon.
Or take the week off and be fresh
maybe.
If the return to league action.
Question for everybody. Does Morsey's yellow now count in the cup as well?
No.
Was it just football league games?
They confirmed that on the commentary.
Because it used to be first team fixtures. I'm pretty certain back in my day, the FA, it was first team fixtures, but maybe that's changed. Or maybe I just had it wrong.
Yeah.
But that's annoying because I was thinking, could we get away with one there? And he'll miss the Sunderland game. What's the game after Sunderland?
Leicester.
Oh, the Monday night. Shit.
Leicester away. Well, that's the way it goes. You've got to use your squad. It's a group game, as we keep hearing.
Yeah.
Lots of positives, says Simon, including clean sheet and Fridge. I thought Fridge was phenomenal. By the way,
really good actually. I could be man of the match. He played very well.
He was really good when he came into the side.
I agree.
Put a big claim forward to say we don't need maybe another centre half in the window, like everyone was perhaps clamouring for us urgently. Because he stepped in, hasn't played many minutes, but looked really assured, comfortable on the ball, and strong.
And you could,
I
thought he played really well. That's the risk Burgess has got now. Look, he goes to the Asia Cup with everyone's blessing and good luck to him. But the risk is now that he won't get his place back in the side. I mean, I think he's played every game this season, has he not? Burgess in the league? I might have that right or wrong. I'm not sure. Oh, he missed one with Edmondson coming in. Was it Hull? Did Edmondson come in for Hull? Plymouth. That was it. But I mean, look, he's pretty, other than a couple of games here and there, he's been pretty much a mainstay for the first half of the season. Fair play to George. He's come in and done the job that McKenna would have wanted him to do. I thought Twanzebe was good in the right back. We did say in the show yesterday, didn't we? He can play there. That when he overtook that guy.
He's got some legs on him, isn't he? Like he can move. God.
Same boat, baby. He was good. He reads the game so well. This is what comes from being in the Man United system for so long. I mean, he just coasted past that guy on the left there for Stoke, didn't he? But yeah, it's another disappointment. And a team that's been so free scoring in the Football League this season has now been reduced to 2 blanks. And the game before that, the Leicester one with the the quite lucky Morsey goal.
You craft your own luck there. But Shrieky says, frustrating that we failed to score again, but no panic. Once we adjust to Hurst being out, we'll be fine. T says, despite the limitations, McKenna played a bad hand badly today. Ladapo has his limitation, but should have started or been on earlier. Humphrey should have been on at left back. And also, Mike Deese is surprised he took Chaplin off, I think Mike D means. Looked like the only one who was going to create something. I think teams when I sit against us need some quality intent with the final ball. Yeah, I'm always surprised when Chaplin.
Chaplin's often coming off the harness.
I'm always surprised because he's a half a chance ball falls goal merchant.
Yeah. Even when he was he had a good shot in the first half, didn't he? Yeah, I mean that's the kind of that was kind of maybe the chance we were trying to fashion a little bit around that D, and we know anything on the volley, half volley. He's fantastic at that, but I don't think he had a particularly great game today, Chaplin. But it took us a long while to work out. We knew that Schumacher's probably got our number a little bit. He's had good success against McKenna teams, albeit we beat them 3-2, didn't we, at Portman Road? I see the man Whittaker scored again, didn't he, in against Watford today? But yeah, we got caught, didn't we? Like what summed up the game today for me in the first half today was that ball that when we were trying to play out from the back and he comes to Luongo and he just bloops it up in the air to Wolford and went out for the throw in. That was really frustrating. And then the guy that Alan Lee and Stockwell was saying what I was thinking myself. Just try and hit the ball a little bit longer. It doesn't have to, as Stockwell said, it don't have to be bloody Route 1 Wimbledon, but try and bring Mickey Stockwell saying, try and bring Chaplin into the game around the centre circle, and then you bring Morsey in from the ball off the back of there, and then you go into the channels. But look, we did have some success towards the end of the first half, but again, we were slow. As you said, we were slow out the blocks, and it took us 25 minutes to really get into the game, didn't it? But as I said yesterday, now I figured maybe today that Southampton maybe would overtake us potentially. So Norwich have done us a favour there. Cheers, lads. Decades of domination, etc. Yep. Now we can reset a little bit. It'll be a B team go to Wimbledon in the all C side, go to Wimbledon in the Cup, and who knows? We've now got a fortnight to try and get some new players bedded in. And I think, and if the last game against QPR at home, and then today we'll probably have the bat phone working on overtime to get someone in this week.
Well, Rax Max says that. Get the checkbook out ASAP. They said the build of the bottle, perhaps because not knowing exactly what we need. I think he knows exactly what we need.
We know we need a replacement for Hurst. I can see the logic of Jackson today. Remember, cast your minds back to the first day of the season when Jackson came on, didn't he? And played really well against that Stoke side. That pace behind that Stoke back line worked really well at Portman Road. Okay, it's a little bit different story, isn't it, in the wet at Stoke. But look, people didn't think Ladapo had a brilliant game, so Jackson got his chance today.
Yeah, McSauce, when they played this game, had shades of last year pre-Jan, no final product. Steve Wright missing an actual goal scorer. We need 2 strikers this month and a wide man, a great midfielder. The wheels aren't off yet, but they're very wobbly, says Steve Wright.
We're missing the goal threat at the moment. And we've lost Hurst, and we've probably lost. I don't know what the injury is to Jackson. Certainly, there's going to have to be something happen really quickly. But they've not. The Mark Ashton and co and the board and Game Change haven't let anyone else down. They were very good in the last window. It's just how far we are down the line to getting someone in sooner rather than later.
They've got to move quick for me because it's you've got a 3-point lead still. Every game is vitally important, particularly now with the gap, getting players up to speed. RJ says, please don't anyone defend that utter gutless performance. The movement, slow build up, lack of conviction was terrible. Stoke were poor, and so were we. Got to find confidence in our build up play, Mike the Fisherman. What do you think of that comment?
Well, we've gone backwards with our play a little bit. We've gone back to this slow pass. Oh, we won't shoot.
Yes,
that's
I agree with that.
how it's been for the last 3-4 games. If you don't shoot, you're never gonna get the luck like Morsey did against Leicester. You've got to start shooting. There isn't enough. We're not putting enough balls in the box. And I know we don't have necessarily great height, but if you don't create anything, you're not gonna get the opportunity to put the ball in the back of the net. And today we created nothing. There was nothing. Lots of passing, and it looked, and when you're passing, it looks good and all this lot. But when it's like 92nd minutes and you're passing across the back line, you think, this, for me, it's just, I don't understand Hutchinson playing out on that left. I think he's far better playing out on that right-hand side. So maybe Burns could have come off. Harness could have gone on the left-hand side there. Chaplin stayed on. I agree with you, Matt. I didn't think Chaplin had a great game today.
No.
He's one of these players that can churn out something special.
Mm,
We
that's
know
fair.
that. We know that. But again, some of his little tricks, Hollywood passing type. You're always looking for that, Hollywood passing, and just. Do you know what impressed me today? I thought Twanzebe and although he absolutely did a howler throw in earlier on in the game, I thought he looked. He just reminded me of Danassian down that right hand side. Great getting back, great defending. Just nothing really offered to go forward. Look, Norwich has done us a favour, today, and I think really, Southampton are probably kicking themselves, thinking, "Christ,
Yeah.
My concern is there's 4 points in 15 now. That is
Very
not promotion, is it? That is
You're-
not promotion."
As you were speaking there, Mike, it reminds me, take our mind back a year ago. We were having exactly the same kind of dip in form this time of year. In League One, we kept drawing. Everyone was saying we're overpassing, like you rightly say, not shooting enough, we're dropping 2 points on the road here, there, and everywhere. We had the same exactly 2 months ago, didn't we?
I mean, I never thought I'd be sitting here saying now, look, okay, so we're second. We're still second. Let's not get past that. But I think we're lucky to be second right now. And I think it's only the fact that Leeds have had a massive wobble, and I know they won today. And Southampton obviously have been on form, and we were so far ahead of them on points. They're now sort of starting to pick up their bits. But for me, I just feel that we have gone a little bit backwards with our play, rather being, like we said, there's nothing wrong with being direct. If you direct into the channels, you direct from the side of the pitch, direct ball into the box, direct ball down the channels. Sometimes, that switch of play and that style of play can work. And we don't necessarily have to be, 8-foot players in the middle to receive them. If the ball comes in the box, we all see it. A defender can miss time, a jump, or, you never know where that ball's going to end up. Balls in the box from corners frustrate me a little bit. We always seem to be putting them far too close to the keeper. I always say from the penalty spot to the 6-yard line, that's one of the hardest places to defend against. You either get it out or, there's always a chance to get a keeper's not going to comfort it there because it's in no man's land and it always makes it. But look, people say we're missing Hurst. Of course we're missing Hurst. I get that. But there's still 10 other players on that pitch. And I didn't think Jackson did much wrong today. I didn't think he did much right, but I didn't think he did much wrong either. He chased down. We know what we get from him. But yeah, I'm disappointed because it just didn't feel like up till probably even that first half, I was thinking this is just going to be another 0-0 today because of how we were playing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Jackson put a lovely ball over the top for Burns, didn't he? He was unlucky not to get to that.
The ball evaded him, didn't it, really?
Yeah, read the ball nicely. But, you're spot on, Mike. I agree with you.
Absolutely. Mike, before I let you go, anything else you want to add to the mixer?
Add to the mixer. Well, I'd look. I thought Laggy had a good game today. I've gave him some stick. I have, and I thought he had a good game today. Did things simple, right. Saves he made were all sort of pretty much as a goalkeeper should. So nice. I thought Ebenson did well. Twanzebe did well. Wolfie, Clark. Oh, you always know what you're going to get from Clark. Look, people. I know Morsey got booked, and look, at the end of the day, that was a booking all day long. You can't if you drag someone back by the shoulders, by the arms, you're going to get a booking.
It's soft.
It's soft.
You are going to get a booking. I know it's horrible, and I know. Look, we don't. Look, it is a pathetic yellow card. Don't get me wrong, but it was a booking. And you are right, Matt. That player that got sent off for Stoke sat on the ground and put his hand out, didn't he? Went like that.
Yeah.
Well, the rules of the game now say you do that, it's a yellow card. And when you're on a yellow card, it's like, well, But Stonewall penalty got.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but the end of the day is if we don't create enough and we don't get the ball to forwards and we don't take them opportunities to shoot when we can, then we're not going to win games. At the moment, we're on a bit of a bad run. For us, let's just say for us, not as a bad run as our form has dropped. We're having a bit of a bad run for us. But look, we've got a break against Wimbledon. Let's see who we can get in. I would argue 3, maybe 4 players to bring in. Let 1 or 2 go out, either on loan or out, and get back to winning ways. Towards the end of January. Get back to winning ways on the next game. I know Leicester away, but look,
Sunderland
they were
first
there
up.
for the. I know we got Wimbledon, but they were there for the taking, don't you think?
Yeah, they certainly were in patches. Yeah, I don't think we ever really had them there for the taking. I never really felt like Town were on the cusp of something today. It just felt that frustrating, could play forever and still not fashion the chance.
Yeah, lots
for
of
me.
passing. Yeah,
it felt like
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah, it felt like something was missing for me, Mike, in terms of just that attacking threat. You're right. I
appreciate
agree
you coming on,
Mike.
Have a great.
Always, lads. Yeah, you take care.
Happy New Year
to you.
Happy New Year to you. I'll run through some comments. We've got Phil waiting to come on as well. Streaky said, I think some people need to calm down. Yes, on a poor run, but several reasons for it. Injuries, illness, a blip was always going to happen. I mean, it's fair to say we probably found December as hard as people thought we'd find December. We're still second for crying out loud. Joe said we played 2 best teams in the league and lost half the squad. Not looking further than that. Andy Barrow says, can we get real? All the 3 teams that finished the top 6 last year, Borough, 4th. 19 points behind us, Coventry 5th, 18 behind us, Sunderland 6th, 15, Blackburn, who was 6th, 23 points. Lewis Robinson with lots of direct forward players, but nobody with a bit of trickery to unlock a team that gets men behind the ball. Someone like Cher would be sort of a different option. Get me Morgan Whittaker now, please.
Yeah.
Now.
On the right-hand side, cutting in. Chair's a great player. I was thinking if we do get promoted, he's someone that we could certainly be looking at. I think he's a really good player in.
Phenomenal. Yeah. I prefer Whittaker, but yeah, I'd take Cher. Yes.
Yeah. It's a toss of a coin.
Kev Hansen, every point is vital when we sort out this winless run. Go out and get Stansfield. Magic, one of those flat games. It happens. Long season, big window ahead. Great comment, Magic.
It is winless. It's interesting how people coin it, isn't it? It is winless, but we're not losing either.
No.
That's the annoying thing. We keep just dropping these 2 points, and and that erodes the point foundation we had over Southampton and Leeds. I'm just hoping, this week we might get some late Christmas presents in the window.
We need them
this week.
Great opportunity in your hands,
Yeah,
and your squad. And it's not like you're entering January with a full host of a squad, and you're like, well, can we add to it? Should we add to it? You've got the rush of injuries, you've got the suspensions, you've got everything in football that comes up in a perfect storm almost, if you like, with the illnesses, etc., etc. You know what you need. You know what your depth can provide. Now you've seen it. There's no more question marks for me about, well, we've not quite seen this or not quite seen that player. You know what you've got. And as Mike says here, I think when manager is managing to squeeze absolutely everything from this squad, inevitably, there'll be a tricky patch. Thank goodness we have a January window ahead. Steve, I understand the injuries and illnesses. However, that's what a squad is for, and ours is Division 1 standard. So we need to be ruthless and get players in. Out Aluko, Ladapo, Evans, Danasian, and Bull. Daniel Barnard, I'll ask you about Hutchinson, because Dan says, I really don't think Hutch gives us much now. Not sure what's up with him bringing Diallo and Stansfield and another central midfield player. How did you see Hutchinson's cameo today?
Well, I agree with Mike. I mean, I don't know about him on the left-hand side. I think he's far better on the right for me anyway, from the games I've seen. But again, the crossing wasn't good enough. He gets into good positions, frustratingly got offside a couple of times, as you said earlier, and Westlake had said, didn't he? We're trying to get the ball forward far too quickly. It just seemed like everything suddenly became a rush when they went down to 10. Everyone needed loads of touches. Whereupon, they've stuck 5 at the back. We can fashion an opportunity. And that's what Leicester City do, didn't they? Even like when they were 1-0 up against us, we were saying how they switched the ball beautifully. And I don't know, we just didn't have that in our locker today in terms of just like switching possession. And it just felt like the ball became a hot potato. Oh, like, I just got it. Now he's going to Morsey. Now it's gone over to Burns. And now it's gone back to Wolfie. And then we're seeing passing between the centre halves and it's gone back out to Hutchinson. It just seemed like the key wasn't there. The creative key wasn't there just to unlock Stoke, unfortunately.
But we have been spoiled as football fans. I think the last couple of games, maybe the whole month of December, is perhaps where we all felt, most of us, coming into the season, where Town would find themselves in terms of the championship run of games. Fighting hard, trying to consolidate, build on a foundation of perhaps a mid-table, perhaps a top 10 finish, and
Yeah.
then you look to go. We've been spoiled, and because we've been spoiled, we want to keep that reign of spoiledness coming down, as it were, and we're like, we're as Cap says, like, some people can't see what's in front of us. We're still second, but if you keep saying, "Oh, it's fine, we're still second," if you keep looking at that, we're going to be mid-table before you know it. I mean, obviously, we're not going to be mid-table because we're a long way from mid-table, but we've been spoiled. And we're just starting to see what we all felt in the summer. The squad depth, perhaps not quite as strong, still a transition, all of those things, Matt.
Yeah, that is true. You are right. But, we've suddenly seen, like, right from day one ironically against Stoke, the 2-0 at Portman Road, so electric. I wasn't there for that game. I was at a family birthday. But watching the game back, I remember thinking, bloody hell, this is fantastic. Wish I'd been in the stadium. It's just brilliant to watch. And we've carried that on, but as we said in the show yesterday, it's very difficult to carry on doing that against good sides that don't roll over against you, and quite happy for a point against you, which Stoke have been settled for today, again with a good manager. And then suddenly, you get these little results start adding up, don't they? And we couldn't break down QPR, and we couldn't break down Stoke today, and people start getting frustrated. But I seem to recall when we did like a show in November or something, we all said, well, if we're over the 50-point mark, or after Christmas and into New Year, we'll be well happy. Well, we're on field. I mistakenly thought we was 53 yesterday. It's actually 54. Therefore, we're now on 55. So we're still in a really good position. And we've got that little period of time now where hopefully we can get in some really exciting signings that will give a shot in the arm for all the fans, because we're all feeling a little bit disappointed.
Like, I don't think we need to be. Like, I'm not. I thought I'd be sitting here really upset with the 0-0 and a 0-0 on Friday. Yeah. 2 points from 6, where the league table tells you should take 6 if you want to be a promotion team. Blah 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 blah. But I'm not. One of those, it felt like to me today, one of those games. You could be playing till Christmas, you're not going to score. Your squad depth has been obliterated. You've got injuries in the camp. You've got illness in the camp. You've got suspensions in the camp. Morsey missed Fridays, back today, or missed 2 more. That constantly sort of revolving door of changes. Burgess is going off to a tournament. We are now at the cusp of having been spoiled, an amazing season, and it truly feels like it's now let's see what the window brings in terms of where the football club wants to go.
Yeah,
how it attacks it, how it doesn't attack it.
Well, we've been. You're right. We've been
here. I don't think.
No, we've been here before, haven't we? In the McCarthy era, when we'd won that game at Boxing Day, and we were like second. I think we were second at Christmas or top. I can't remember. And no one got brought in at all, did they? And we actually just went down the table.
Well, Freddie Sears got brought in.
No, okay. He was in a good run of form at Colchester at the time. I think he was in double figures. So so Freddie had come in, but we weren't talking 3 or 4 players on a title run there, were we? And the title run probably is over for us here at the moment.
It was never on for me, the title run. It was never a thing I was targeting.
When you're just tucked in behind Leicester, who have been a fantastic side. I mean, they've absolutely drummed Huddersfield today, haven't they? And I noticed we could have done with Birmingham today. Birmingham at home. Leeds have rolled them over 3-0. They'll be back in the top 2 hunt again, I'm sure. But we've been here before. Like I said earlier, in League One, lots of draws, people getting frustrated. I kind of led that, and then McKenna turned it around, didn't he? And you saw the impact of Broadhead and in Hurst, and they slowly grew into the season. And what a phenomenal last third of the season we had. Hopefully, we can repeat that. It's going to be very exciting to see who comes in, because you will know whether or not we're serious about getting into the top 2 or staying in the top 2. Should I say we're in the top 2? We're serious about staying in the top 2. By how much we actually are willing to spend. If it is a lot of money, if it's a lot of money, you know what we're thinking, right?
But you also have a bloated squad. You also have a few players you have to move on. And I mean, like, you can obviously bring players in, deregister players, and then have them, not a part of the Matchday squad, but still in the building, as it were. That's not evidently what you want to do with football players. So it is going to be a really busy time at some point of this month. You feel, if we're going to bring one or 2 in.
Well, you could see people going out on loan. Like, could Shawnee Aluko go out on loan to someone in League One or 2?
Well, the alternative, though, isn't it? It's seeing some people like Shawnee Aluko not registered in the match squad, but still in the building.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but I do get that. But at the same point, what we're talking about there is a week ago we didn't think we were going to be making 8 changes against QPR. And suddenly Aluko's in the frame, so you just don't know. You don't know what's around the corner. I just suppose we're thinking that if we're talking 3 or 4, we don't know what they're really thinking. might be 2 or 3, but 3 or 4 would be lovely. But I don't know, maybe the kind of experience that you would need from an Aluko is something you do need. You do need in there. But you might get that from one of the new signings. Let's wait and see. We're in a bit of no man's land now because we don't know what the direction we're going to go in. We're at a crossroads a little bit. We don't know what we're going to spend and who we're going to spend it on.
No, absolutely. And he says, Gov, we've been spoiled. If we were mid-table chasing a playoff instead of having that guaranteed, would anyone be moaning? Paul P says, deregister Luca and Evans. We get 2 vacancies there, which is a good point. Because people keep saying you need to sell before you can bring in, but there's not a rule that says you can't have, let's say, 1 million players. But only register 25, right? You can have as many players as you want. You can only register 25. Yeah,
Luco will certainly play against Wimbledon, I would have thought, and maybe some of them fringe players. Is Evans still not back training? Has anyone heard about it?
Even if he was, he's still going to be way off.
Yeah, it would be. In which case, he's not going to get loaned out either. So, I mean, look, deregistering someone would be a bit harsh, wouldn't it? But Donatian back next week? Donatian back to play, maybe?
Is he? He's not fit though, is it? At the moment,
we spoke about this yesterday. I didn't see any comments. People saying,
the chat was saying he wasn't fit, so I can only imagine he's been injured. So because otherwise he'd been
back again.
Yeah,
Brandon Williams to play.
John Smith, how much we spend with FFP rules? I guess it's 13 million pounds a year loss, isn't it? Over 3 years.
Yeah, so I think Ashton said we was in. Ashton said we was in a good space for that. I seem to recall when he's spoken on the record when asked that. I think. Yes. It was odd that Williams, Clark's right back, really, ain't left back, is he? And Williams he's played left back for Man United, doesn't actually start the game. I thought Harry did very well, actually.
I thought he did, yeah, just very well. I mean, it would be very easy to play against Harry Clark in that position because you know what he wants to do forever. Yeah. Cut back on his right because he clearly didn't fancy his left, did he? At all through the game. I think once the fullback sort of learnt that, it became an easier task for him. But he did a fantastic job in a position that's not his most natural. But you know what you get from Harry? Passion, 110%, and some quality mixed in it with it.
Former Stoke player. Glenn Wheeler said he was very popular at Stoke while he was there. Was it like 9 appearances? Or starts maybe 2 goals. I've said he scored 2 goals, I remember seeing on the stat record. Yeah, he done good today. Yeah.
I'll kick Phil off with a question from the chat. Do we gamble now, knowing we have Leaf as an asset in the summer, if needed to recoup money for FFP? Phil, what do you think of that?
Look, we can't afford to lose Davis. Look, the crux of that question is, look, we missed Davis today. We missed him. Okay, and there's no way that I'm selling Davis in the site. Look, it would take a silly offer for us to part company with Davis, and I'm talking, 25 plus.
That will come, Phil. That will come in the.
Well, I'm just saying, look, if it comes from, say, I don't know, a well-established Premier League side, so be it.
Not in this window, Phil. I would say, I think probably.
No. Look, yeah, I'm not talking about this.
Yeah, you mean in the summer.
Window.
Yeah. I agree.
It would take a silly offer for us to part company with Davis. Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm with Rob actually a little bit, Phil. I absolutely, having that asset, he's got the stats already. So even if he missed, heaven forbid, the rest of the season, he's got the stats, his assists, he's shown what he can do at this level. Premier League teams will be looking at him and thinking they can take him to the next level and get him better. I would use that asset at the back of my mind and think, right, I'm going to go in on this window. Use the opportunity we've got. All right, it's a smaller margin now than it was, but it's still a margin, and go a little bit more than perhaps I would do without knowing that how I have that asset. What about you?
Well, I mean, say, look, it largely depends if we win promotion this season. I mean, say, if we don't win promotion, then yeah, the likelihood is that we'll get that big offer probably in for him. And if we do, it would simply be a case then of next season. Mark Ashton and Kieran will sit down again, and they will come up with a plan on how to reinvest that money. But I'm gonna say that model of selling players for millions of pounds under the stewardship of Sheepshanks and Burley worked. Ultimately it was successful for us. And I remember Sheepshanks saying 2, 3, 4 occasions that they did have a struggle about balancing the books, about trying to reinvest as much of the money back into the playing score as they could, because we don't receive all all of that number that comes in for for a player. because there's tax to pay on it and there's other fees, to part company with. But I would say we're not really a buying club in terms of the money. I'm saying the power that we've got. The buying clubs in this window will be, the likes of Leeds and Southampton and possibly maybe even Leicester. Although I think Leicester's parent company, I think from the summer, as far as I know, was more than £300 million in debt. So, I think Leicester will go up this season. They'll be okay. But
you're right about Southampton, because we said on the show the other day they were linked with someone from Juventus for 26 mil.
Well, they've got the money to spend, Matt.
Yeah.
So there's nothing we can do about it. But just going back,
wisely, though, we can spend wisely to plug our gaps, can't we?
Yeah, we were both in the pub on Friday night. We was both speaking to another regular fan, and he dropped 3 names that I'd be very happy with.
Absolutely,
if we managed to secure in this window. I was thinking maybe 1 or 2, but 3 that would be a good number. I can see the likes of Fred, Luco, Evans, and JD moving on maybe this window. I don't know, but just going back on today's game, I thought our makeshift back 4 did pretty well. I thought Clark had a good game at left back. Twanzebe, okay, we weren't great in the first half. We were hot and cold, but he played better in the second half, getting further up the pitch. Vaz had a really good game today. I just felt regarding the central midfield, perhaps maybe in the first half, that Morsey and Luongo looked a little bit slow on the ball, I thought. Stoke didn't really cause any real problems, but they had 3 or 4 chances that Vaz was pretty comfortable with in the end. Look, again, I thought this afternoon, it's frustrating that when teams play a low block, like last season's, obvious game towards the end of last season was the Port Vale game. They played a low block and it nearly worked for them. Stoke did the same in the last 20 or so minutes. And we seem to have a problem playing against teams with a low block simply with the way that we play. And I think the reason why we are slow starters, the reason why we concede goals fairly early on in the game is because with our playing style, we are playing out the back. So players like Morsey and Luongo in the central midfield are pretty good at sussing out where to place their passing, and in general it works.
Sorry, Phil, I just want to interject there because I've just seen a tweet from Ipswich Town that says Kieran McKenna has told the media that George Hurst is seeing a surgeon this week for a repair on a rupture to his hamstring. Well, it'll be the back end of the season before a possible return.
That's worse than I thought. I was thinking maybe 2 or 3 months. I was thinking if he's obviously, when you pull your hamstring, you're tearing a number of muscle fibers in that particular muscle of the body, but that a rupture, a tear, depending, that seems to me like a first class tear, and that's devastating.
We thought when they said it was significant in the week, we kind of all said, didn't we, Martin, that could be the season. But look, that's going to force their hand now. They're going to have to go to market. So
yes, they are. Look, if we get that one attacking play in that has been mooted around, then happy days. We'll be okay, I think, because that player, is capable of scoring bags of goals in the
And who is the player that's been mooted around then, Phil?
Well,
I've not heard it.
It's pretty obvious. It
was in East Anglia. It was in East Anglia.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Stansfield.
Yeah.
Okay, look, and and Rooney has come out in the press and said, yes, there is a recall clause in the loan agreement they have with Fulham, so he could be recalled by Fulham. I think if any club would make an offer for him, then I think he will be recalled from that loan spell. Just talking about the game earlier, it's just sheer frustrating because that's the most bizarre red card you'll ever see. Probably maybe in a Town game ever. Certainly
the yellow card, don't it, Phil? To be fair.
Well, I didn't actually see it. I was actually watching the game, on my workstation here, and I didn't even see that. But I just wanted to say that I think Stoke's number 14, he picked up a yellow card in the second half. Now I think in the first half, I remember rightly, he kicked the ball away, and the referee didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, but they let the left back.
I think the number, I can't remember what position.
14, I think it was left back. Yeah, absolutely.
So they could have had 2 off. And, look, they were there for taking. My frustration, I think the one player that I was itching for him to get a goal this afternoon, and to play further forward was Taylor. And, you know, we've got this problem. Obviously, you know, the problem we've got is, you know, the number 9 position right now, and, you know, probably maybe towards the end of the season as well. But if he just sticks Taylor in that number 9 position for the last 15 minutes or so, we just needed one good effort, one good shot on goal, and he's got that in his locker, and that's so frustrating to see. You know, he's not a natural central midfield player. He's much more of a number 10 role. You know, it's problematic for us because, you know, Chaplin plays in that role. And I think if we were to put Taylor in that, you know, play him a bit more further up the field, we would see, you know, him produce the results that he's capable. We all know that he's capable of doing, and that's frustrating for me. But you know, look, you know, I'm not bothered about the FA Cup next week. You know, win, draw, lose, I'm not fussed about it. I think Morsey plays 100% for me in that game before he goes off on his 2-week holiday. And you know, just hope, you know, when we come to play Sunderland, we may have 1 or 2 new faces in the field. You know, I'm hoping that Davis's calf strain won't, you know, is not that bad, and he'll be back in 2 weeks' time, because, you know, we badly missed him this afternoon. But, you know, we do struggle against teams who play that low block, and it's frustrating to see. You know, I would say it's just so frustrating. Am I bothered about, you know, the chasing pack? Not really. This is a wobble for me. You know, 5 games without a win. It's not a blip. It's now a wobble. And we've got a tough game in Leicester coming up. I just hope, you know, we need 3 points against Sunderland now. That's really the focus I think McKenna should have.
Absolutely. Phil, appreciate you coming on the show. Look after yourself.
Phil. Happy
Happy New Year to you. Steve154 says, so much negativity on here on Twitter. Some fans expect us to turn over 90% of the teams in this league. Be grateful where we are and trust our management to work with whoever they are. Thanks for the comment, Steve. I mean, it's a match reaction show. You always know.
I'll be negative.
I always say after a match reaction, you always reacted to the match, not the season. The show on Wednesday will be where we take a step back and we say, well, it wasn't great, but look at this wonderful picture we've got. At the moment, we're narrowing in on the latest brushstroke, and it isn't the greatest we've ever put forward, you know. But doesn't mean we're having a bad season. I mean, it's any way, shape, or form. Wheels coming off for me. I think it's just one or two bad games. I mean, Leeds and Leicester, we always knew there'd be tough games for any team, particularly a team just promoted.
We played in the second half against Leicester. We played very well and thoroughly deserved that point. We had the makeshift team against QPR, and today we were just frustrated we couldn't beat 10 men, I guess. Stansfield played for Birmingham, by the way, today. Got booking.
Yeah. Obviously, that would be a loan, though, wouldn't it? Because he's just on a long-term deal at Fulham.
That just means you can ask
to be a loan.
Well, I would not rule it out being a full-time signing. You know, players would sometimes just sign contracts to up the fee. Oh, look, he just signed a new 4-year deal. It's going to cost you now. It's going to cost you X amount. Could be a loan. Can it be a loan, though? Having been on loan at Birmingham already? I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
a good question.
Crunch is always good on this stuff. I'm not sure.
I'm not. I'm not sure either.
I'm not too certain on that. Tell us in the comments. I don't think.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Obviously, you had the George Hurst news breaking there while we were on with Phil. Phil mentioned it a little bit. What were your thoughts on it? It's obviously a massive blow. I'm a big George Hurst fan. Love the fella. I think he's a great player. I think he really makes us tick. You know, what are your thoughts on it?
Actually, just thinking back, unless Stansfield's played for Fulham this season, I think maybe you could do another loan. I think if you've played for 2 clubs already, you can't go to a third. That might be it. But Hurst, I mean, look, that's just rubber stamps what I thought. As soon as Kieran said significant, remember he said significant about Harness, although he came back quite quickly in the end. I think whenever Kieran uses that phrase, I said to you, didn't I? I bet he's out for the season. That'll be season now, I would have thought. They won't. You've got the recuperation on that. The uphill battles to get back to match fitness, to get back towards the end of the season when you're, still probably in a top 2, top 3 battle.
Yep.
I think we're going to be pretty solid for playoffs. But I said your stuff, and we'll be top 3 all season. In what order, I don't know yet. But look, sometimes it's really bad news for George. It's really bad news for the club. It's bad news for everyone involved with Ipswich Town. But maybe that will bring in a player that no one had thought about, and suddenly he'll become a hero for us. So you never know. It could be.
This is what I was just thinking.
Disguised in a funny way.
this is what I was just thinking. I'm not sure about blessing, but certainly in football, it's all about moments. It's all about taking opportunities. And before, we would say, "Oh, but who would arrive knowing they've got to compete with George Hurst, etc., etc." Well,
exactly.
The stage is set for you whoever you are, to arrive at a football club, and be a hero instantly by firing a team to the Premiership.
Yeah.
Every single player at every single level will back themselves to the hilt to be that man.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. Yeah, that's what I kind of mean, really. When I say, in an odd way, sometimes these things work out well because they may have had a target for Hurst and thought, well, he'll be a good backup for Hurst, right? Now Hurst is injured, probably going to be out of the season. Now, the Crunch is phoning me. Is he not watching the show?
Shocking. But equally, a player that's perhaps sat on the bench in the Premier League team, who am I going to go there and get game time? You are going to get game time now. You are going to get game time now. While you're on the phone to me, I'll hit the like button, says Mike Woods. Absolutely. We've got a few minutes left. Streaky losing Hurst was always going to have a huge impact, and adjusting will take a while. Who's going to step into the breach? And David said, disappointed result. If we can't be a 10-man Stoke, we'll not get automatic promotion. Any final thoughts, Mr. Phillips, before we round ourselves up?
What was that thing on Trigger Happy TV? Did he used to go, I'm on the phone? That was like that.
Can't say I've seen it.
You know Dom Jolly? The Dom Jolly thing back in the day.
I'm a Dom Jolly fan,
Really? That was funny.
Yeah.
Trigger Happy TV, that was it. Trigger Happy TV. Yeah, I'm on the phone. Something like that. Yeah, what I was saying was I personally think that with Hurst, they may have been looking at someone who might have cost, I don't know, or alone to be backup. Now I think you might speak to Game Change and the lads in the States, and they'll say we'll go all in on someone to be that number one. I think you were right on that one. What was the other question? Was there another question?
Anything else? Anything else you want to bring to the mixer before we close the show?
I don't know. I still don't agree with that negative comment. I think these people are a little bit disappointed. Certainly after the QPR game, but I would certainly have taken a draw today with Schumacher having gone there. Arguably, I'd like to have had the win at QPR and then maybe you got a draw at Stoke today. Yeah, I mean, look, we're now there. We're now on the precipice of something quite exciting, I think, because I think we're going to see new faces by the time we play Sunderland. And let's be excited about that, I think. Hopefully it's going to be, that'll be just a shot in the arm that the fans will want. And let's continue this. We do find ourselves in second. No one thought we'd be in this top two going into 2024. But as I said yesterday, it feels like we've got a lottery ticket flying around us a little bit. Let's grab hold of it while we can, because we might not have this opportunity ever again. You just don't know in football.
In 3 years of doing this show, what I've learned is the match reaction is its own little bubble, right? And what you've got to do is take the comments like you take people in life. Some will be very positive. Some will be absolutely, my glass isn't half full, it's broken and on the floor. And somewhere reality will lie in the middle. Because there's always that little bubble about it, because you're directly after the game, you're in that moment, you're in that passion, and natural pessimistic, optimistic tendencies, for me, I've always found come out with people.
People will often just look at the result in isolation, but if you think back to the last two games, they've actually taken 4 points against QPR. We've taken 4 points against Stoke. So when looking back on the season, you look at those games, you think, actually, that's a good return against two sides that have been around the Championship for quite a long time. So we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, I'm excited to think that there's going to be some new faces there. Roll on Wednesday when we can talk some more, eh?
Perfect. Don't forget, we are also partnered with Stowmarket Osteopaths. Osteopath services in Stowmarket. Also physiotherapy available. Go and see Freddie. Tell him the Gov sent you. Phone 01449 613 633. I've got it on the speed dial. Love the place. Can't wait to get back there. I've already been there. Not today, but I was there just after Christmas. I squeezed one in, Matthew, with the rigors of, sprinting around Tesco's and everything else. I had to go and see.
How long are you in there for?
40 minutes.
Oh. A good
4 minutes. Yeah. Oh, it was a great time. If you like your body being absolutely, pressed there and but it's great. I love it. Absolutely. It's good, man. I took such a long time to take up my mother-in-law's invitation of going to see this osteopath. I was like, I'm not quite sure. The moment I went, transformed my life. Honestly, it has transformed my life. And where I am today from where I was when I first walked in is night and day. It truly is. I can't speak more glowingly enough about it. But go and see Freddie. See what he can do for you. 01449 613 633. Tell him the Gov sent you. Don't take my word for it. And Lee says, had Stoke Plus of the Park, I'd be worried. but we controlled the large part before they went to 10 men.
Yeah.
The conversation carries on our Discord. You become a member by hitting the join button or head into Ko-Fi, $4.99, cancel at any point. But for now, right, Matthew, we are done. We are done and dusted. It's finished 0-0. First show of the new year.
Yeah.
And Colin says, please be patient and positive. Well, I'm patient and I'm always positive. We're back on Wednesday, 8 p.m. Join us as we react further to today's 0-0, QPR 0-0, and of course, look ahead to AFC Wimbledon. But that has been the man from Del Monte. I am the Gov. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you all Wednesday, 8 p.m.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I am down or when I am blue, I can't get enough. Oh, yes, lover. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Oh, yes, lover. Oh, please, lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I'm going crazy from just the thought of you.